Hey everyone, Chris Bochelle here with Mizuno Golf. I'm taking over the North America page for a few minutes, and this should be fun. We got some people coming in today. We got Kirk, four-time PGA Tour winner, who is going to come on, and we're going to try to catch up and see what's been going on with him and life and everything, and trying to get some exposure going on during all this craziness. But yeah, it's been a fun little bit of time. Nice time to be at home, to actually be able to get some work done here. It's been a little bit. I wouldn't even say it's been slow for the golf industry. This is kind of a crazy time of year. Obviously, there's been less to watch on TV, but there's been plenty to do. So we got some cool stuff getting ready to come up for you later on this year. See, we got a lot of people hopping on. See my boy Ian Frazier. Good to see Ian. What's happening? So we got a lot of stuff coming up, but more than anything, we've been trying to engage a lot of our players, and we're super excited to have Kirk because, we want to find out what he's been up to, how he's been working on his game. He's a relatively new staffer for us, so love to always get his insight because he's always so valuable in terms of what he knows about equipment, how he thinks about his game, what he wants to do. It's not always the stuff that you'd expect from a tour player. So I love it that he's a guy who, from my heart, from the technical side, he's the type of guy who likes to know exactly what his equipment's going to do. A guy who likes to be able to dial it in and has a lot of different things that he really looks for. He's very particular in what he wants, and that's the perfect guy to try to work with. Just speaking from myself, I've been at home for a little while, for almost going on a month, so I've been working on some of my equipment stuff too, but it'll be really nice to get talking to him and see what he's doing to work on his. So hopefully he'll be jumping on any minute now, so that should be great. Looking through some of the questions here. Oh, there's some stuff coming on. Oh, we got some people from overseas on here. That's good. Hey, Kate, how are you? Got some people asking about JPX. We got there's going to be some fun stuff coming up later, so wait till the end of the year. It's going to be awesome. So hopefully everything's still online, on track, but we'll find out in the next little bit. So let's look through some of the questions we got coming in. Mizuno still shipping new clubs. Right now we are shut down, but hopefully that's going to be let up sometime soon. So we'll find out. We're not sure. We're kind of still waiting on that to know exactly when everything's going to kick off, but hopefully it won't be too long. Oh, 1 second. Let me see. I got a text from Chris right now. He's trying to connect, so let's see if we can get him going. I'm going to send a quick text. And then let's see. Hopefully he'll be here soon. Can we make a full mallet putter? We got some stuff coming. The actual new line, the M-Craft putter line, has been very, very well received. Oh, here we go. Let's see. And then I think we're hopping on right now. Let's see. Connecting.
All right.
Hey, Chris, what's going on?
What's up, guys? How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. All
Well, hey,
good.
we really appreciate you coming on live. It's definitely a different time of year right now. It's not the typical April or leading into May that you'd expect from the golf season. But just want to check in on you and see how you're doing. See what you've been up to.
We're doing all right. We're struggling through homeschool, trying to teach a second grader and a kindergartner. So I've been doing a good bit of that. And we're very thankful to have a good bit of property here at our house, so the boys are able to get outside, and the nice weather has really helped us a lot, keep some sanity.
That's also. Tell me about your house. Tell me, where are you? You're in Athens, right?
Yeah, we live just south of Athens in Watkinsville, and we're on 40 acres. I'm over in my barn right now. I have like a golf room, a putting green room in my barn, and a place out the back of the barn that if anybody follows me on Instagram has probably seen some videos of me hitting balls and playing baseball and doing whatever out there.
That's pretty great. And have you been staying connected with some of the fellow tour players, or have you been kind of in isolation, or what's life been like for you?
Yeah, I've talked, mostly just through text and stuff through with a good many other guys. Brendan Todd, who was my college roommate, he lives in town, so we've played golf a couple times. The golf courses here are open. You generally are. It's walking only, and everybody's got their different system for what they put in the cups to make everybody not touching the flagstick, all that kind of stuff. No rakes in the bunkers, all that kind of thing. But I've been playing golf about once a week or so.
That's pretty good. Have you played with the raised cups, or which ones have you done so far?
We most people in town here are doing the pool noodle, so they cut
Hmm.
about a 4 or 5 inch section of pool noodle and put it down the hole. We did play 9 holes one day, Jennings Mill with raised cups, and it was pretty hilarious. I think
How
everybody
long?
shot 6 or 7 under on the 9 holes, so you can just 20-footer, you can just hammer it. But
I was gonna say, how many
it was
holes
still
in before you started just smashing it?
yeah, about the third hole, we realized like all you got to do is just hit it as hard as you can, and you're probably not going to miss.
So that's great. So are you the type, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty nice. You got a lot of room and you've been playing some golf, but are you the type who kind of tries to shut down a little bit when you're not playing competitively, or are you trying to keep sharp? Like, I know the season kind of very abruptly ended. So
Mm-hmm.
like talk to me about, or tell me about how you were feeling, how your game was, and then what's that feeling when it just automatically then just shuts off?
Yeah, it's hard for sure. After having a good bit of time off last year, I was really excited about the spring season, and my results were not incredible, but I felt like I was really making some huge strides in my game and playing really well. I had just gone the week I didn't get in Bay Hill. I went and played a little mini tour event and played really well and won, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was done. So yeah, I was really excited and really eager to play. So where typically I would just kind of shut it down if I had some time off, and I enjoyed taking a month where I don't touch my clubs or whatever.
Hmm.
But this was different. I was just excited to play, and so now it's been interesting trying to. I wouldn't say I'm practicing a ton of staying sharp, but still trying to get out and play every now and then.
So now that there's appearing to be an end in sight, when we're actually going to get you guys out playing again, or how do you approach going back to getting back tournament ready? I mean, do you have a like a set time frame you like to say from my first big tournament, I work backwards from there, or have you tried to stay sharp the entire time?
Yeah, I definitely haven't put in the work to really stay sharp, but obviously we all have that date circled on our calendar, second week of June, to be back at Colonial at the Charles Schwab tournament. And so for me, I still probably won't practice a whole lot the rest of this month. I may play. There's a few mini tour events that I think are still going to happen the last week of May, so I may play in one of those, kind of see where I'm at, and then spend that first week of June really just sort of working through the kinks of what I feel like I need to get going a little bit better before we get really back going.
That's great. Have you been trying to stay connected with golf? I mean, like I know first week of April watching the Masters. I know that they did the Tiger replay was pretty cool. And actually, I saw you on the Heritage last Sunday. Actually, the replay. I saw you were playing pretty well that week. So, have you tried to kind of stay connected to that, or do you kind of just block all that out?
Not really. I mean, a little bit through social media. I've tried to post a few things here and there, kind of what I've got going on, but no, not really following too much of the golf world. There's not a whole lot going on, I guess.
Hmm. So talk to me about your bag. Are you using this time to work on anything or work on anything in your swing, or what are the main areas of focus right now?
Um, I spent the first few weeks trying to do some speed exercises where I was, working on seeing what I could ramp my driver speed up to.
Hmm.
Did a few of those on Instagram, and for me, it's kind of a combination of lifting when I can and just trying to hit some balls really hard. It was interesting. I got to know a few long drive guys years ago, and I just asked them what they do, and they said I
Hmm.
go to the range every day, and I hit 100 balls absolutely as hard as I can. And
Interesting. Okay.
that was it. And so they just found that over speed, your body kind of gets over time. Sorry, your body gets used to building up that speed, and so um, it's just a fun exercise for me. So I'd go out on TrackMan, and for me, a normal driver swing is about 114 miles an hour. But I found that after a few weeks of doing that, and granted, I wasn't hitting 100 balls as hard as I could, maybe 10. I could get up to over 120, 121 was the fastest that I ever got. But it was not what felt like a really controllable swing for me. But now I did that for a few weeks, and now I've just been kind of taking it easy, trying to get some rest, and playing golf every now and then, and back focused on just sort of tempo and quality of strike is kind of what I see it as.
So I love hearing this. I've actually in the downtime I got some of the super speed swing trainers too. So I've been trying to swing as hard as I can, and it's a different feeling of swinging as hard as you can, not hitting anything, just to
Yeah,
space, versus you like doing it where you're actually swinging as hard as you can, actually hitting balls.
yeah, I prefer to do it hitting balls. I feel like it's a more accurate. It's just a
Hmm.
more accurate measure of what you're doing. But yeah, I've got my bag here with me that I'll go
Yeah,
through.
I'd love
I've,
to see what you got in there.
yeah, a lot of our courses are not letting you take cards. So I got a staff bag, but I don't use that really when I'm at home. I use this. I have this remote control. MGI makes it.
Nice.
I can drive around, and it's been fun because I'll go out and play with my kids, and I can take their little bags, and I'll use a zip tie the handles together. And so we've got 3 golf bags going around on the remote control. But my bag, I guess we'll start at the top. This from and I've shared about this a decent amount.
Hmm.
I use the ST200X, which I know of the three models that we've got going on now is kind of the most draw biased.
Yep.
And I love that about it because I want to feel like I can kind of swing the club out to the right and feel like it's always going to come back for me. But one thing that I know you and I have talked about that I love so much about this driver, me being a draw bias player, I'm obviously swinging from in to out, and so
Hmm.
my misses are always going to be on the heel.
Hmm.
And so this is probably the best heel hitting driver that I've ever hit because a lot of drivers, especially if they're kind of more a fade bias driver, if you hit the ball on the heel, it just goes straight right.
Hmm.
And for this, I've found that when I hit the ball a little bit on the heel, my start line will end up a little bit straighter instead of starting at the right side, and the ball just flies straight. So
Nice.
I feel like almost every time I hit one on the heel, it just I may lose 10 yards or something like that, but it's out there in the fairway, right? You know, almost as good as a good swing.
That's awesome. We've
Uh,
done a lot too on that driver in particular in terms of the actual design of the heel and the hosel, how it goes in. There's some different things on that one. So it's awesome that you're actually getting that performance out of that heel as well.
yeah, absolutely, loving it. Through my 3-wood and 5-wood, we won't spend much time on those, but
That's okay. We're
uh,
here just to talk.
yeah, a tailor-made sim and an old Callaway Rogue 7-wood is what
Hmm.
I use most of the time. I varied a little bit at that spot in the bag. I have a
Hmm.
2-iron that I'll use sometimes depending on the course. Hybrid that I'll use every now and then but I mostly use that. It's about a 20-degree club, and I hit it about 240 carries. So it's a great kind of
Nice.
bridging between my 4-iron and my 3-wood. As we keep going, my 4 and 5-iron are the hot metal blade.
Yeah, the HMBs.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I fought this for a long time, but I don't, I don't get, if I just have my lofts of my irons set, how you would typically have them set with the same increments and loft between, I don't get the right carry numbers for some reason. So
Hmm.
my lofts are kind of all over the place. But really, what I'm doing is I'm relying on TrackMan, and the things that I'm looking at with my irons are spin rate, apex height, and my carry number. And so I'll just keep tweaking the lofts until I get all of those just right. So for my 4-iron, the longest iron in my bag, to get the right distance gaps, I want to fly this like 225, so it's right at
Mm-hmm.
22 degrees of loft, which is perfect for that number. And then on down to the 5-iron is 27, which is kind of probably a more traditional 5-iron loft.
Yeah, so a pretty big loft gap between those two.
Yep,
But
and
you're more
but
all about the actual carry number versus anything else, right?
absolutely, yeah. And as you change, if you use a mixed set like I do, as you change from one type to the other, obviously this hot mill blade 5-iron at the same loft as say an MMC 5-iron is going to go higher and further. It's just
Mm-hmm.
what the club is designed to do. So I can fly this 210 comfortably at that 27 degrees of loft without really having to mess with much. And then after that, I go down to the MMC MP20s in
Mm-hmm.
my 6-iron through 9-iron are
Nice.
these. And so in order to make that gap just right between my 6 and 5-iron, my 6-iron has 29 degrees of loft.
Okay.
So it's only 2 degrees weaker than my 5-iron, which would be very untraditional, but that's what I need
But that
to
makes
get.
sense with the COR change between those two. So I like it that you're looking more at the actual final result versus trying to look at on paper where in theory it might go.
Absolutely, yeah. So I fly this 195, and it's a perfect gap. Those kind of 15-yard increments on my longer irons, and then as I get into my shorter irons, um, for some reason, and I have absolutely no explanation for this. Help me out if you do.
Okay.
But I have always, every set of irons I've ever had, the 7-iron goes forever, and the 8-iron goes nowhere.
Interesting. Okay.
So I have no idea why that is, but whereas I used to always use really traditional weak lofts of a 44-degree 9-iron, a 40-degree 8-iron,
Oh wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
36 7-iron, 32 6-iron, and on down, and only use 3 wedges. But once I went to 4 wedges, I've tried to kind of bump up those carry distances just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, 7-iron goes a long ways, so it is 35,
Okay.
which is a 6-degree gap from my
Right.
6-iron, but I still can 183 is my stock number
Mm-hmm.
with a 7-iron, and then I go
Is
on
that
down to
is
an
that your
8.
favorite club in the bag?
I've
Would you?
always loved 7-irons, yeah. Maybe
So it's
that's
like
my
you're
so far.
it's like you're just dialed in on that one. If you were gonna Bryson DeChambeau up a set, they'd all be 7-irons.
Yes, no doubt. No.
All right, continue on. Sorry.
So then from the to the 8-iron, where a 40-degree lofted 8-iron was, I could never get the carry numbers that I wanted. So with my 7-iron at 35, this is at 37 and a half.
Okay.
So that's obviously very strong for me. 168 is the carry number that I like. And then when I go to a 9-iron, 9-irons are a little bit like 7-irons for me. They go plenty far. So this is 43. So I've got these through my bag. It's kind of alternating these small gaps in loft and then big gaps in loft. Which, like I said, I resisted that for a long time. But at the end of the day, I got tired of coming up 5 yards short with my 8-irons, and the other clubs were good, pretty much at the loft that they were. So I kind of go on down from there. So 9-irons at 43, and then my wedges are all pretty close to what they say. But again, I'm looking purely at carry distance with these. So pitching wedge is 47. It flies 140. Gap wedge is 51 and a half. 127 is my number with that one. Then a 55-degree sand wedge. I think the sand wedge is a hair stronger just because once you get into the 56 or so, you get a little bit more aggressive grooves, so it's not fly quite as far. So I've got that
That's
one
right.
down to 55, and then 60 for my lob wedge because I'm not that one. I can fly. I fly at 100 yards. It's my normal carry number, but that's not really the main thing that it's used for.
So what I love talking to you about versus like, a lot of players you'll talk to and they'll hit a club and they'll either like it or not. The fact that you can go through and name the loft on every club on your bag and the exact distance, it's awesome. It shows how much time you put into building what works for you and everything.
Yeah, I'm kind of of the belief that as far as your lies, lofts, swing weights, all that kind of stuff, a lot of people maybe don't care about it, maybe think, oh, it's close enough, but it's one of those things that, especially at the tour level, when we have Kyle and Jeff out there every week that are ready to work on your clubs or whatever you need, if it can be perfect, then
Mm-hmm.
why not? So I redo my swing weights on my irons every time I re-grip my clubs because not all grips weigh the same. Like
Yeah,
it's one that you could say, oh well, what could it make a difference? And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I think that if it can be perfect, then why not?
it's such an overlooked thing, and I love it that you put that level of precision into everything. And I know your wedges, you do a little something different on the finish to those as well. You kind of have your own little thing you do, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've done this for a long time. Grab one. So I take I always order the raw heads, and as you can see, that doesn't look raw,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't really look like rusty that this one's on I had for a little while. Um, but I use it's gun bluing. It's made for bluing the barrel of guns, uh, and you can put a couple coats of it on there. It's a clear like chemical, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely something to be careful with. I wear rubber gloves and use a sponge to do it, and kind of make sure I throw everything away when I get done. But yeah, it gives it that nice like darker dull finish on there that I've always really liked.
That's great, man. I love it. So no, that's awesome. I really appreciate you running us through your bag, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you got time planned with the family, maybe hitting some more balls today. But really, it's always been a pleasure to have you on staff, and the willingness you are to share information about your clubs and your way of thinking. I think it only helps us as a company to design better stuff, to understand what it does for a player for your level. So we really just appreciate all you do for us at Mizuno.
Absolutely, same to you. Yeah, it's nice to have people to work with that really do want to know what you're thinking and want to know what you're going through with your bag and all that kind of thing, and are willing to take that feedback and make it happen.
Well, when things lighten up a little bit, I'm only an hour or so away. So let's meet somewhere and let's tee it up.
I love it, man.
Awesome. Well, hey Chris, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and be safe. And we're looking forward to, in not too long, seeing you back out there and winning a lot of cash and putting some more trophies on that shelf behind you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.